in the last 4 days, now 5 because it was yesterday. In the last 5 days, you have closed 2 flat fee deals.
Yep, 2 deals.
Okay.
One deal for 1,000, one for 800.
Okay. One for 1,000, one for 800. And where were those based? What are those both in the US?
Yeah, one was in Florida, one was in New York.
One's in Florida, one's in New York. Okay. Were these existing sites or were these pre-sales?
So we got both. One was totally new since I started Flat Fee Mastery. I followed the thing, opened the Weebly one pager, pretty much did everything like you told me. Literally started from scratch with the due diligence, everything, and closing for 1,000. That was the niche was pretty much just like you told, artificial grass. I figured I'll just go straight on it. Like if you could do it, I could do it. Like why not? Why do I gotta think? Let me just like make it happen.
Love it. So your $1,000 deal you got in Florida, and then you got an $800 deal with an existing site. Now tell me about the existing site that had you tried to sell it? Had you previously had a client? Like what was the story on that one?
Yeah, so it's actually it's pretty crazy. Like I actually was in the free group, and it's a junk car removal. Okay, it's my first one, junk car removal, and I actually closed with a towing truck guy because the towing truck and the junk car removals are like they both do like I figured it out. I couldn't find anybody specifically with the junk car. I found the tow truck guy, and from what you taught in the free group, I was able to close with $600. I don't know if you remember, I shared it in the free group.
Yeah,
I think
I do.
So this is this one. After 3 weeks, I closed with him, I think January 1st. Okay, for $600. After 3 weeks, he's like, I don't need any more of your crappy leads. He paid me upfront 300, and he's like, I'll pay you the next 300 on the 15th. He's like, I don't need any more of your crappy leads. Go to hell. Like, I don't need any more of your stuff. I was like, dude, like, I promise I'm gonna get more from this site. Like, I was like, this is not. And then when I heard you talking about like upselling, I think it was like a few days ago or something, I was like, that's it. That's my problem. I gave it to him for $600. These are good leads. These are not towing leads. These are like solid cars. Some of them you could like sell to a mechanic and like upsell and make $1,000. I go into my local. This is like where I grew up. This niche. It's in Rockland County, New York. So I go into like my local the like online marketing book. Like it costs like maybe $200, $300, $400 to put an ad. I find the guy junk car service, and I know the guy paid at least $400 for that ad. I call him up. I'm like, dude, I have a lead, a junk car lead. Send him one, send him two. I think I sent him. He's like, dude, weird. Like, who are you? Like, I made sure to like not talk. Like that was like my thing. Like I'm not talking. I'm just giving him damn business. 2, 3. I didn't even send him the screencast. I think it was less than a week. I was like, dude, you want more of these leads? We got to get on a Zoom call. Close them. I asked for $250 a week because I knew that he's the type of guy. He was already like talking about price, and I was like, we're not talking about price until we speak on Zoom. Like I don't have time. I'm sorry. Like I pretty much played like really hard to get. That was like my motto.
Okay.
And
so I want to stop there for a moment. So, okay. A lot of people are going to have this question. And I saw this in the group, actually in Flat Fee Mastery the other day, is, okay, you get on the phone, you send a lead, the business, you're talking to the right company because you built your list correctly, and you get on that call and that you get them that lead and they're like, hey, this is going really well, man. Like, just shoot me straight. Like, what's this going to cost me?
So I'm like, listen, we can't talk prices on there's a lot of factors involved. Like I've heard enough of I watched enough of your closes, enough of yours and like other guys on the groups that I know, like, I just automatically it comes up like all different tools. Like I know that my goal is not to talk about price. Like it's like ingrained. Like I'm not giving him price no matter what. Like if he says, I don't want your leads, goodbye. Like I don't want to talk to you. Like, because I know it's like I have experience from talking to business owners already. Like I've got like I haven't closed so much, but I have experience. So I'm right away like, listen, we can't talk price because of other factors. Like, you know, what's the total revenue going to be? How many leads I'm going to be sending you? How many you could close? There's a lot of factors involved. But I'll tell you off the bat, Like, I'm only making money if you're making money. I just want you to like understand that. Like, I'm not here to go charge you and like suffocate you with like not being able to pills. I promise you, like I'll say it on the phone. Like, I promise you, if you're not making money, I'm out. Like, I can only make money if you're making money.
Yeah.
Like profit. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that in their head. And I think that I learned that from you guys. Like, Nick didn't pay me to like praise him. I just I just heard enough of your calls, like with the confidence. It's like that's pretty much one of like the main things I learned is like to have the confidence that like they need us more than we need them. That's what I like, one of the main things I learned. I think I was always like begging, like begging you, like, please take my leads, please, please. No. You don't want my leads? Go home. Like, I'll find someone else. I promise. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. I don't need you. You need me. I kept on telling myself that.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of good things that you just shared. So first of all, with the price, guys, if you bring up price too early, this isn't like something that we need to hide or anything like that. But like the reason that we don't bring up price immediately is because you could kill the deal, right? You can kill the deal. We need to get them to quit worrying about the price and say, hey, like, that's not a big deal. So what I usually say is if someone's like, okay, what's this going to cost? Or usually what they do is they're like, cool, man. So like, how much do I need to add on? Cause I'll give you a percentage, and like, it's in us naturally to get all like, well, I don't do commission. It's like, okay, you start saying that, you're going to freak them out. So here's what I say. I'm like, look, man, or look, lady, I'm not even getting like, we're putting the cart before the horse. All I want to do is get you a couple leads. Let's have a conversation. That's the easy part. The hard part is finding a good fit. If this is a good fit, there's a lot of different ways. And I usually joke and I'm like, I've done every kind of deal under the sun, with the exception of food stamps, which I will take now. By the way, I do take those now. And I'm like, just kidding. When in reality, I don't take any deal besides a flat fee deal. 0 deals besides a flat fee. I know that. But I'm not going to get too excited because just keep in mind, every business owner, they don't want risk. They don't want anything like that. And so their natural instinct is to say, oh, I'll give you a commission. I'll give you a percentage. Okay. Don't freak out. That's like when you walk in the clothing store and they're like, yo, can I help you? You're like, no, I'm just looking. Right. It's just like that knee-jerk reaction. So don't get too excited. Do what Abe did. Just push it off. And so I usually just say that. I'm like, look, we can worry about that later. And then and so they say, well, what do you usually do? I say, I do all kinds of different stuff. Like, that's not the issue. Is let's see if this is a good fit. Then we can talk about it. So on price, that's just something I wanted to point out. Some of you guys are bringing it up too early, or you hear in this group, it's like flat fee, flat fee, flat fee. And then the business owner's like, well, how do you do price? And this is on the first call. And you're like, well, we do a flat fee and you pay the same amount every single month. And then the business owner goes to you and you're like, well, why is that? Well, that's because you freaked them out. You can't do that until you explain why pay per lead sucks, why commission sucks. Then you can present the flat fee, but it's all got to be in order. It's got to be part of the process. So the second question I wanted to ask you, dude, or
like another thing,
yeah,
just like another thing, the artificial grass guy that I closed $1,000 a month. Like I remember him saying on the phone, like, I hope you're not one of those guys that are just gonna like take $1,000 a month or something. Like, he literally said that on the phone.
And then here you are,
closed
bro.
Him, like,
I love it.
I would have recorded that,
dude. I remember going into a house. This goes back to my door-to-door days. No shit. I knocked on the door. It was this older couple. The wife had like whatever. She had problems, and part of the security system, we sold those medical pendants where if you fall, you could push the button. And they literally told me on the door. He's like, if this is a monthly fee that's anything above $30 or $25, we're not interested. And it was like 55 or 60 bucks. And I'm like, oh, no problem. Don't worry. Dude, I get in and freaking close that bitch, dude, at 55 for like a 5-year contract. Because guys, like, they have to hear the pitch. You got to realize, until people hear the pitch, they don't know. It's just like if you're at Costco, right? And people are like, no, I don't want any cookies. I'm good on cookies. But then you go over, you're like, all right, I'll try it. And then you taste it. You're like, yo, those are freaking legit, dude. Actually, I do want some of those. So don't get too upset. Like everyone's going to say that. Just don't get all worried. I know we hit flat fee, but just put the business owner at ease. Say, hey, we can work something out. It's not a big deal, even though you know in your head, it's like you're only doing flat fee, but don't stress it too much. Okay. Next thing I wanted to ask you, because by the way, tell everyone where the hell you're at, dude.
I'm in Israel, like, I don't know, 70 thousands of miles away from America.
So homeboy, he grew up in New York in Rockland County, but he lives in Israel, which is freaking sick. So he lives in Israel, slinging deals. Are you like, dude, obviously, like, I don't know what city are you in?
I'm in like the most gorgeous place in Israel, like up north with the mountains. Like I got crazy cool views.
It's not like what we picture, which is like sand and freaking camels and stuff.
No. It's like, it's really nice. I live in like a small village, like 300 people. It's like gorgeous. I have like, that's mad.
Dude, how sick. That's just a side note. Like, how dope is it that, like, first of all, that we're on a call and you're in freaking Israel and it's 7:30 at night, number one. And number two, you're like slaying deals from Israel.
Yeah.
In the US. So, okay, we're going to get into that, but I got to ask you this question. Because it's so true, dude. Like, confidence is everything. And you said something really important is, who was the other person? Oh, Jeff, my buddy Jeff that we interviewed, that's also in the program, the infamous I'd rather get shot in the street guy. Okay, if you guys can't remember him, firefighter. He said the same thing when he was like he was struggling because he felt like as soon as somebody showed any kind of interest, it was like that he felt like he was begging them to take his leads. Like, okay, yeah. He was like, I was so excited to just get somebody to say yes that I was just like a prostitute for money. Like, yeah. And like, guys, it's so weird how it works, but the moment you take control and realize what you're worth and realize you are the one that has the leverage. I don't know why we forget this. Like, Abe, this guy that you closed, this artificial grass, you could have chosen between 10, 12, 15 companies, right? That wanted leads. But last I checked, there was only one of you, right? Exactly. So why is it that we get all worried and we let the business owner have leverage? Like, in my head, I don't say this to him, but I'm like, no, bitch, I call the shots here and I'm going to choose who I work with. Like, and that's how it comes out, because that's literally how I view it. I get to pick who I work with. You're not going to tell me what to do. Just like with Linda on Friday, or was it Thursday? The business owner was yanking her around and like, hey, I'm going to be busy. She's like, look, pull over and let's do a damn Zoom call because I've sent you leads. And what did he do? He pulled over and they did the Zoom call and she closed it, right? Like, so my question for you is this. Some of the people watching right now, they haven't gotten a flat fee deal, or they've gotten one, but maybe like, it was kind of lucky. How do you have confidence without like that first deal that you got that, like, by the way, how long have you been doing it? Like, when did you buy your first program? I should have started with that.
I'm about like a year and a half, 2 years in.
Okay, year and a half, 2 years in. I know you've had like some success, gotten a deal here, deal there, but nothing like consistent.
No flat fees. No flat fees.
No, for sure, no flat fees. So how do you have confidence with no prior flat fee deals? Like, talk to that person.
That's literally, I'm like, it sounds like I'm probably like promoting your program, but that's literally why I bought your program. Like, that was the reason. Like, because I knew.
What do you mean by that though? Like,
okay, so basically, I bought this book before I joined any of your. I bought this book like a year ago, dude. Okay, like a year. I think when I bought JK, when I bought the program, I bought this book with that program. That was like the model that I was going with. And the thing that he teaches in here is, if you don't know how to do something, find someone that knows how to do it the best. Okay. I saw you doing it. I literally saw you doing it. I was like, dude, this guy's doing it. And like, that's why I joined the free group. Like, you were just literally teaching it. You were just like, you gave it for free. You were like, do this, set up Google Ads. I'm like, Google Ads, freaking genius. I never thought of it. Google Ads, do this. Like, I'm not a tech computer guy. Like 3 years ago, I didn't know how to send an email. Like, I'm not like, I ran a business, but like my wife did all the computer work. Okay. Getting off topic, but the point is that like, like, this is like not something that comes natural to me.
So basically what you're saying is like, you were able to kind of like borrow off of the confidence you saw in the free group and the paid group. And you're like, dude, and I agree with that. Like when I'm around people that are confident, it makes me more confident.
Yeah.
You know, like
I watched your thing like before closing with this guy, the first guy and the second guy. I like watch for like I had it in the background like you're closing like for 3 hours, just like hearing closes. I was just like, this is happening. Like I am closing. It's not an option. Like he like stopped me. I didn't even say like this first to the first guy, like in the middle, he had to go. It was already like an hour in the Zoom call, he had to go. And I was like I had to like do the pullback. And I was like, oh, he knew I did already like the process of like, he knew I had other people on the hook. And like, I was like, I'm talking to other people. So he's like, okay. Let's get back on. Like he was begging me to get back on the same night. He was like, okay, let's get back on like at 5 p.m. Like, does it work? Because I told him I'm in Israel. Like he knew I'm in Israel. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then like, yeah, we closed that night. So I think that the confidence comes from watching people actually close and understanding like there's a lot in this book that I could go on for hours, but like we're not different. Nobody's different. Like we're the same. No, like you don't have anything different than me. We're made up of the same freaking dust. We come from the same place, you know? It's like, so it's like I saw you do it, and I was like, I could do it. I could do it. And like, this book helped me give confidence, and I knew like it's crazy how you were just talking about like guys like whoever's like you were talking about in the free group. You were talking about like who is for the flat FFM, who is for the flat fee mastery, and who's not. And I was like, you like just nailed like exactly what I was looking for. Like I'm sold on the rank and rent model. Like I'm done. Like I'm done with SEO. I'm done with everything. Like I'm on this full time, 9 a.m. I'm on here till like I don't know what time at night. And it's like I was just missing a few links, like how to close the deals, how to get these few things that I was missing, and like just nailed it.
There's so many nuggets in this that like I'm not gonna be able to hit on all of them, but like, dude, when I used to do door to door, every single day I had the same routine. I would wake up, I would read 5 pages of like fundamental training. Like, you know how Vince Lombardi is like, this is a football and that whole thing. I would literally read the most basic shit on sales, right? Like just 5 pages of sales and it very basic, like all these different things. Then I would go to the gym. I would come home, I would eat. While I was in the shower, I would play closes and pitches of top guys in that industry that were throwing like 500, 600K a year. And I'm like a 21-year-old kid thinking that's like inconceivable amounts of money. And so, but it's funny that you say that because that's exactly what I mean, in the shower, my wife's like, I swear if you play that video one more time, I'm going to choke you. Like I would literally repeat, like and then what happens is you get in the closes, dude, and you start using the same lines. It's crazy. And you're like, I know that didn't come from me, but like you hear it so many times that you start to say it. And all of a sudden it's like, it becomes part of your vocabulary and it works. It's crazy. So, all right, you're in Israel. I'm going to ask you a couple questions like with that. How do you deal with like time issues? Like you got some time difference issues. It's 7:30 right now. Like, how do you schedule your day so that you can actually, because like literally right now, like do you stay up late? Like, how do you structure your day so that you can actually prospect, close, etc.?
Yeah, so I like it actually works to my advantage because like I take the whole morning like slow because I'm just like people are still sleeping. In my head, I'm in America. So it's like a little weird for me, but like I wake up and like till 4 o'clock p.m. 4 o'clock p.m. is 9 a.m. in America. So I'm just like taking it slow and doing the things. And then 4 o'clock p.m. comes and like that's when like I'm getting involved. If I have any calls, I need to connect. And I just got like all the calls coming to myself. And like it's just, it's coming till it could come until 12 a.m. 1 a.m. is when like, America is like 5. So it's like I'm doing it because I tell people like I want to retire at 40, I got 10 years to retire. So like I want the opportunity to be able to retire at 40. So it's like I'm like, dude, I'll put 10 years in at night. Like I'm thinking big. Like I'm thinking like I will have chances later on in my life where I'm gonna have the nights free. But right now, I basically in my head, like the nights are off. Like I'm full time. Like I go days where I work like 14 hours. Like I just
Crazy.
obviously I take breaks, but I gotta make it happen, you know. I'm
Yeah.
like pretty psyched on rank. Like I'm upset at myself. That's what motivates me a lot. I'm upset that like it took me like a year, almost 2 years to close my first deal. And I'm just like, I'm gonna make this happen.
So what was the spark? Because I've noticed a lot of people, they like bought their first program. It's so funny. We all buy a program on Rank and Rent, and then we end up down these freaking paths of like just trading our time for dollars. What was it that got you like excited again? Because I feel like a lot of people, they get in, they kind of lose the sight, the vision, and then something clicks and they're like, oh yeah, that's why I actually bought that program. Let's focus on Rank and Rent. I wish I would have been doing this for the last, 2 years or year and a half. Like, what was it that got you excited? Or were you excited the whole time you just couldn't close the deal? Like, what was that like?
I think I was excited the whole time on this, honestly. And I think I just couldn't close a deal because I was not doing any Google ads. So it took me like 6 months just to learn it. And I was doing other things. Like I have a wife and 2 kids. Now I have 3 kids. And I was in college and like I had a job, I had a business, like I was doing other things. So it took a lot of time till I actually learned the process and then got the websites to rank and then got some leads. And then I realized I hit the stump that like we're all talking about, like this is not easy to get a business owner to close right now. Like I thought it's gonna be like I thought I'm good at sales, whatever. Like even though I don't really have any experience, a little bit, but I think that's where I hit that stump that like, dude, it's not so easy to get a business owner to pay me $1,000 for some moving leads, like, or some junk car or concrete. And when I got into your program, when I found your free program, is I think when I got like a big boost, I was like, this, like, dude, this guy is like serious, like he's closing deals, like, and then from that, I just picked up.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, I think so. I was on the phone yesterday with somebody and on a Zoom, and this is what they said. They're like, and this is like a shout out to everybody in the group. Honestly, is they're like, dude, he's like, I don't know what it is, but like, there's some kind of energy in the group. Like he's talking about the free group, the one that we're in right now. He's like, there's some kind of energy. Like I can't describe it, but it's like it's there. It's like this thing. And he's like, you don't even see that in paid groups. And it's true. Like there's like this. He's like, everyone's like excited that like people get deals and everyone's helpful. Like, and honestly, I don't really know like how to put my finger on it or how it's come to be. All I know is that like I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that not only do we preserve that, but it keeps growing. So anyway, anyone that's watching this or will watch this, we're going to make sure that this stays the same. And as soon as we get cancer, we're going to cut it out. But also like appreciate everyone. We have a great group of people. I feel like, yeah, there's probably a couple people that are like, every time they see a win, they're probably like, oh, why? Like, because that's just human nature. But I think for the majority of people, everyone's pretty excited. Like, dude, if Abe's getting deals from Israel, I can get deals. If Nick's getting deals from freaking Podunk, Utah, I'm gonna get deals. If Linda can do it from Massachusetts with 2 kids and all this different stuff, and I can do it. So anyway, let's keep that up. That was like really cool that person said that, and I agreed 100% with him. So how are you? So are you just using like a regular cell phone? What's your like what provider? Like how does that work?
So actually, the cell phone that the calls come to, like the forwarding, it comes to my phone, and actually, if anybody it has like a funny beep, but it hasn't stopped me yet. Like if you hear, it's not a regular ring. It goes like ring and then it goes beep. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna close deals even with that. But then I do got like regular phones. Like I got landline set up to internet. So if I'm making an outgoing, I have like I have regular American numbers going out. But then like you can
Hey, hold on.
like
How does that work? Like, is that just a VoIP? So you call from the landline and then it uses the internet and it's a VoIP so that it shows up. What service is that?
yeah, so I like it's just some internet provider, and you can go on Google and get anything. It's simple.
Okay.
I actually got a friend that did it for me just because like I don't even know. I bought the phone. You just buy like an internet phone and then you just plug it in. He did it all. But if anybody like I could look into that if anybody needs, but it's simple. Like and then it comes up whatever I want it to come up on your caller ID. Like I put in like whatever I want.
That's dope. I'm just curious because I know there's some people that have been asking, and then there's some other options. I was just curious what you were using. So you have A phone, like that phone that I can see on the desk right there, right? That Verifone or whatever,
Yeah.
Vodafone, whatever. And then that's connected to that's actually an internet number that shows up as an American number when you call.
Yeah, but you could do also call sling. Like people do call sling. Like you could just
Okay.
make a call from call sling also, you know?
And I think CallRail also does that. So there's tons of options. And
Yeah.
the principle behind that is what you just said. My phone has a weird beep. I'm in Israel. My time's weird, whatever. I'm not going to let that stop me.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna take no for an answer. Like I had to tell myself a lot that like I'm not taking no for an answer. Like I know I'm making this happen. Like I got my goals right there on the wall. I bought a freaking whiteboard. It's all out there. My goals exactly how much I'm gonna make, what I have to do every day. And like it's there, you know?
So when you joined into my program, I said, Abe, I need you to get a deal in 30 days. And you said, I'll get a deal in 30 days. And I said, okay, sounds good. And you did it on day 29.
Yep.
So tell me about that. Like I love that you said, you're like, okay, I told him I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it. Like, I mean, what was going through your head? I mean, you did cut it pretty damn close, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I did cut it close. First of all, like I love the fact that like I bought another course and like there was like 7,000 people. Like I just felt like a drop in the water. Like I never, it's a really cool group, but like I never felt like part of it. Also because I freaking live in Israel, you know?
Yeah.
So like when you were like, you got to close a deal in 30, like just the fact that like, you know, there's somebody there and like, especially because I'm in Israel, like I'm not even in America. So I'm already like distant. It helped me like support wise, like the group and all the people and like the fact that like the guy in charge of the group is like actually wants me to succeed. And so like I like they just like process that in my head that this has to happen and like wrote it all over a bunch of gold cards like this has to happen. And then like I mean a few things that I did like extra, like I basically told myself like if let's say these Google ads don't do, what am I going to do? So what I did is I opened up, I asked the business owner, like once I got him one lead, I was like, where else do you want leads? And he said a few other places that were pretty far from him. And I opened like 3 Google accounts. I was like, I don't care if I have to spend $800, whatever it is. Like I'm closing in 30 days. I don't care like if I'm losing money. I'm closing. Like enough is enough. And I think I did spend like almost like $600 or something on Google Ads, but I still walk away with some money. And again, it's like I didn't take no for. I kept on doing things. I was doing Facebook. I kept on asking people. Like I was super involved in the group. Like, how do I get this guy leads? How do I get this guy leads? Like I know I felt that it wasn't enough for him. Like what I gave him, I must have gave him like 3, 4, and I felt it wasn't enough. And I gave him like 5. He got 2 estimates. And I remember when like the second estimate, just like the tone of his voice, I was like, okay, we're getting on Zoom tomorrow. Like, and I was like, and my 30 days are coming up.
Dude, but the thing is, like, that's what's cool about the like there is no rules, guys. Like, so you go and spend money on Google ads to get a pitch, right? And whatever, you have to go through 2 or 3 business owners, you're $500 deep, you're like, oh shit. Go charge that as a startup fee. Right? Like, hey, it's $1,000 a month. I have a $500 startup fee, non-negotiable. Now, guess what? It costs you nothing. Or like Linda just brought up on Thursday, Friday. I cannot. Is that Friday? What day did I interview? I think it's Friday or Thursday.
Thursday night. I think
Thursday.
For me, it was Thursday night.
So I interviewed Linda, and she's like, "Oh," and she brought this to my attention. Google does a deal now where if you spend $500, they give you $500 for free. So it's like, okay. Well, there's $500 free because as long as you close the deal, you recoup your cost. Like there's tons of different ways. What a lot of people, oh, Linda just reminded me shit Thursday. Sorry, Linda. There's so many things.
But 1 second, let me just cut you off for a second. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
I wasn't thinking about the money. Like, I don't have a lot of money. It's not like I have money to blow. Okay. But I think it was in my head, my mindset was I'm closing a deal. Like, I don't care if I'm losing money. Once I knew that once my mind closes a deal, you saw 4 days later, I closed another deal. And now I'm going to close another deal next week. And I'm going to close. I'm on the train. Like, I think that was the hardest probably turnover for me to get on the train of closing freaking flat fee deals. It's like, stop thinking about the money. It's a couple of bucks, $100 here or $500. Like I'm thinking like 20K, you know, I gotta get to my goals. Like,
yeah,
maybe I don't have the best like budgeting and business skills, but like it's in the mind. Like
Yeah.
If you want to close a deal, you're going to have to close a deal. You might have to lose money. You know how much business owners invest in businesses before they make a penny? Like,
Yeah.
do we know what's going, like, we're making a business. Like, we could lose $1,000. What's the big deal? Like, I'm trying to make 30K a month. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, you get too caught up.
It's so true, dude. And that's when I did a live a couple of weeks ago when I was in California, and I was like, that's when it clicked for me. It's like, and I posted a Jim Rohn quote too. It's like, what I'm like, this is all about time, right? Like, you can make money, dude. I've lost $50,000 in the stock market as a 23-year-old kid, like just an idiot investment. I've lost, all kinds of stuff, made bad investments with a townhome that I barely made. Like, I've lost money, and you can make it back. There's infinite money. Like, it never runs out. Like, but the thing that we have to remember is there are, like, we got to quit worrying about that. But like you said, it's like the goal is 30K. So let's quit worrying about that, trying to save a buck, and let's figure out how to do things that get us there quicker, right? That speed, dude. Every single person I've ever met that I know, or like either like as an acquaintance or personally, that makes a lot of money, like millions of dollars, they all have a common theme, and it's speed. It's speed. Everything is speed for them. They don't care. They're not gonna wait to get a better deal. They're just gonna do it because it's time, right? Time is money. And so, dude, it's completely true. It's like, that's exactly why we do Google ads, for speed, right? We're trying to get the deals.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be 35 by the time you hit 30K. We need to hit 30K this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's your goal by the end of 2022?
30K.
30K.
Like, I know I could probably do more, but like, I'm the type of guy to get like overwhelmed, because at the moment I got to close like 2 to 3 deals every month. So I think that's like, it kind of fits. It's a little scary for me, but it's like, I know it's doable. So it's like, I'm like cool with that, but obviously I want to get more, but like, it's like 2 to 3 deals every month I got to close.
And I love, what's cool? I'm watching you, and I keep seeing you look at your board, and like that, I know you're looking at your goals because you keep referencing. You guys have no idea how powerful it is to just, like, I have my whiteboard right here, like, just to have that where you see it. And then when you're like, you want to take a nap, you want to take a break, you don't want to make the call, you're like, oh, dude, on December 31st, am I going to remember the nap, or am I going to remember that feeling of like, dude, I freaking did something I never thought I could do? And so, but it's just funny because I could see you referencing it, and like, you keep looking at something and focusing on it long enough, and it happens. It's insane. How was it going from that first deal that like you had to, like, 2 years not closing a flat fee, you squeak that one out. 4 days later, you get another one. Like, how did you, like, how did that work? Like, literally within 4 days, you got another one.
Yeah, like I'm saying, so like once I closed that, I got like so much momentum. And again, I think it was the same time that you posted something, like you wrote something about like you're charging too little for your leads. It just happened to be the same time, and I was like, it hit. That's what I was saying before, like, that I realized that's why the towing truck guy was like, dude, I don't need your crappy leads, because he was only paying $600. And the second that hit, I was like, I'm going for 1,000K. Like, I went for 1,000. And it just, listen, it worked out. Again, it was a lead gen that was ranking. Okay, it was getting 20 to 30 calls a month. The calls were coming in, and I just, like, after I closed the first deal, I was like, I gotta close. This is crazy. And I just took like action. I spent like, I think 1 or 2 full days just hustling, trying to find somebody that wants, like, business owners. And that was it. Like, I could say it was just it was mostly action. Like, I took more action than I ever took.
That second deal, what was the time from when you contacted them to when you closed it?
Less than a week.
Crazy.
Maybe like 4 or 5 days.
If you could go back a year, from like a year ago, and you could see in the future, like, Abe, in a year, you're going to be able to call a business owner and close them on $1,000 a month deal, flat fee, within 4 or 5 days, what would you have said?
I would not believe it. I would not believe it. I would not. I
Dude,
did not think I would be able to do this. And like I thought it's possible because I freaking like did this whole thing and that's what I knew. But once I started calling business owners, I like kind of like realized it's not so easy because I like totally had nothing like going for me, no script, no nothing. I was like sending like whisper messages. Business owners were like, "Who the hell are you? Like, what's what? Like, what?" Like they didn't even understand who was calling them. That whole concept, like I'm not trying to bash any groups or anything, but that's if anybody's doing that, still stop. Like, just stop. Don't just
yeah,
send business owner leads. Like that's kind of showing them that it's like not worth. When I'm like live transferring them, it's like, dude, this is gold. Do you want some of my gold? Like, I don't just give free leads. Like, if I'm only giving it to you if you could close it. Like, I have other people to give it to you. Again, this goes to the same thing. Like, I don't need you. And the second I got that momentum, they felt it. They feel my energy. Like this second guy, I had all the energy from the first guy. Like he felt it so strong that he was like, dude, like the second I got on Zoom with him, he started telling me about freaking other, he wanted me to already open him other legions. I didn't even close with him. And he was like, dude, what about in just Jersey? I also want, I buy junk cars here. I buy junk cars here. I'm like, it was crazy. And like, again, I just want to say like, I got this guy on his soft spot. Like I nailed him on his soft spot, like exactly how much money he wants to make. And he like told me all the numbers. And I couldn't believe that I would be able to ask a guy how much he made this past year. I just spoke to the guy 3 days ago for the first time on the phone. And he's telling me exactly how much he made. He made like 80, 90K. He wants to go to 250. I'm like, you want to go to 250K and you're just advertising in these papers? Like, how is that going to happen? Like, I can bring you to 250K, right? I could just do 10 of these right there. You got 250K.
yep.
Whatever I'm doing right now, like this is, let's say 10K for you, right? I'm just going to do this times 10. Like, where do you want to do it, bro? We're like, just you give me the location, we'll get it done. And I kept on bringing back, like, the main thing is you have to close the deals. Like, if you're not making money, I need somebody to, and he kept on like being like, I got this, I got this. Like I'm gonna close, I promise. Like he was like begging me. I literally got at that point. And then when I asked him for 250, he like was like 200. And I was like, if you close right now, 200. Like don't even talk, don't even say another word. I'll do it for 200 just because I needed to close, you know. He's like, okay, take my credit. He gave me my credit card. He was the first credit card I got. Got it on Stripe, got it on Thing, and that was it.
That's such a good, I love saying this, like this is one of the things I like to do. If I get on the phone with somebody and I look at it more like an interview than I do a sales pitch. And I tell them that I'm like, look, my objective is I want to find out where you're at today and where you want to go. And then, so I say, okay, where are you at? Blah, 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 blah. Where do you want to go? And then they tell me, I say, okay, let's pretend you never met me. This lead gen site never existed. You never met Nick Wood. You never met Abe. As of right now, your goal is 250. You're at 80. How are you going to get there? What's your plan right now? You know what they always say? You're like, okay, well, you're never getting there. And so it's like, that is exactly the reason why we're on this call. And then at the end of the call, when they start like, you know, shifting a little bit, I'm like, I just remind them, you told me that you want to get here. You have no plan without me. This is how you get there and how you get there quickly. So I like, that's a money question. I asked the same thing. I want to ask you this. You are you're in a spot that maybe many people are in, and dude, you didn't join in originally. Remember, you were like,
afford it.
Yeah, but you could afford it. You could the whole time. You just had to make up your mind. Like you had to make up your mind you could afford it, because even when you joined, you couldn't afford it. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
What was the shift? Because I think a lot of people, it's like, and I see a lot of posts like I'm just curious what your mindset was, because nothing really changed as far as that, but like, what was the mindset shift for you that you're like, okay, now I can afford it, even though the money's the same?
Well, I was from the beginning, I knew that I was going to join it. I just couldn't do it right then. Like I was on the first Zoom call.
But you could have, you just chose not to.
Right. I could have, but I just chose not to at that moment, just because, again, like I'm not a guy that buys courses. I only bought one other course in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like super like, I got this without you. Like I got that.
That's what I was getting at right there, because that's the thing I wanted to hit up. I think a lot of people, it's like, And I told you this, that bro, you can do this on your own.
Exactly.
You're buying speed. You're buying time. And what do you know? 29 days later, holy shit, here we are. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy how that works.
So that was, yeah, that was it. That was the change, I guess. It was like, I realized that I could do it on my own, but I'm not gonna do it quick. Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to hit my goals. Like, I already had goals written down, and like I knew that like I need speed. And even now, like I'm like constantly, like figuring out how could I get it quicker? How could I I don't care. Like that's why I opened the 3 Google Ads campaigns account, and I might lose money on Google Ads. I don't care. But in the long run, like it's all in the mind. It's like if I know I could close deals, I'm gonna close deals. If I think I can't close deals, I'm not gonna be able to close deals. So that's it. Like,
yeah. We were talking just earlier. I just want to touch on this real quick. Is I posted a video on Saturday about raising your price, right? Raise your damn price. And guys, like the more I've been thinking about this, the more I'm like so mind blown over this. It's like, it's so crazy. Like follow my train of thought. You raise your price and the business owner, they take the leads more seriously because it hurts more. So they're like, okay, I'm paying $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. I'll be damned if I'm not going to call these leads schedule estimates. Because you charge more, they take them more seriously. Because they take them more seriously, they close more deals, right? Because they close more deals, they're like, shit, this Abe guy knows what he's doing. And it's like this positive cycle. Why are we not raising our prices? Guys, what I've realized is like the price is irrelevant to a certain point because they're going to make so much more. You raising it enough, make sure this, I guess this would be the thing I would say is when you yes, look at the lead value calculator, make it make sense. Make it sting a little bit. Make it sting a little bit because if you don't make it sting, number one, when I don't pay enough for something, I don't value it. I don't think it's as good of quality. So like my first course, I paid like 6 or 8K for, and I bought more courses after that. And I paid like 2,000-3,000. And every one of those, I was like, I didn't think they were as good just because I didn't pay as much. Some of them I never even opened. And similarly, I've had clients like you, bro, where I think I'm doing them a favor by charging them a low amount. You ain't doing anybody a favor. You're not doing yourself a favor because you don't even have the motivation or you can't even justify calling them because you're like, I'm only making $400. I don't even I can't justify being on the phone right now. Right. But when you raise it, now you're excited to talk to them. Now you want to over deliver. Now you want to expand. Like, dude, why wouldn't you charge? Like, go right now, raise your prices, raise them 25%.
So it's so true what you're saying. Honestly, for me, just because I never closed like flat fee deals and I'm not like, I don't know what it feels like. So there's a lot of fear involved. I'll be honest. Like there's a lot of fear of not delivering what I'm promising because I never did this. Like I never experienced it. So like, I'm just like a little wary and I have to keep on telling myself like, worst comes to worst, I'm not going to deliver and he's going to cancel. Like, it's not so bad. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, like what's going to happen if he pays me $1,000 and now I only give him 3 leads? Like, what's going to happen? So like, it's still my website. I still have another 20 business owners to call. Like, I'll figure out why I didn't get so many leads. Like, I have to stop being afraid of, for me personally, I'm just saying my experience. I have to stop being afraid and like just go at it. And that was like what I was doing on the phone with like the junk car guy, because if we were doing the numbers, it could be like pretty low. And like, he was only maybe making profit like the total revenue was like 2K. And I was asking him for 1,000. Like, I'm just doubling your money. That's it. Like, and I think that's a lot in a business. Like, it's not like, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I was saying like doubling, tripling. I was like if you close like 10 out of 10, then you'll triple. And it's just like, I was just like going at it. Like, I wasn't like letting myself get down by like, hey, maybe like I'm only going to get 5 leads or 10 leads. And like, I don't know, like, it's like, I gotta just like trust the process and just charge $1,000. Don't go less than $1,000 and just like keep on going for me.
Number one is like, just don't oversell it. So take that with a grain of salt. Charge more, but still make sure that when you put it in the lead value calculator and you look at the numbers, if you only deliver 15 leads, the numbers still make sense. They're not going to lose money. They're still going to double. Right. If you can do that, what I'm saying is sometimes we plug it in the lead value calculator and you're like, okay, if they close like 30% of 15 leads, like they're going to make like, 10K. And we're like, oh, I'm going to charge them $1,000 because it's a no brainer. It's like, no, you should be charging that guy $3,000 because even at the worst case, he's still going to double his money. Right. So that's like, there's like, make sure to remember that you still want to make sure that it makes sense logically and with the worst case scenario. But yeah, dude, there's just like, I don't know. It's not like kind of like a mind thing for me. And like, it just hit me. I'm like, personally, when I don't pay that much for something, I don't take it seriously or I don't treat it with as much like whatever. And dude, I'm like, I'm raising my shit. I'm going to keep raising it because I'm going to make it sting, which is going to force you to take it seriously, which is then going to make you make more money, which is then going to give me more case studies, which then makes me more money. It's like, yo, that's like the game right there. So anyway, all right, dude, let's jump into a couple of comments really quick. So Bobby says, yes, I have a client that only pays me when he closes. And she put it in quotes because she knows that commission deals, technically, you could call those more just like a pain in your ass than a client. So like $150 a month. She said, so many calls go unanswered because he isn't invested. Just send the $150 and just send the $150 a month to shut me up. Exactly. Like when you're not charging enough money, they don't like, they're just like, like you guys have all dealt with the business owner that's like, yeah, I'm paying Home Advisor. I don't know. It's like 100 something to keep it on. I don't even answer the calls. Do not be the product or service or company that they treat like that. Okay. All right. Let's see. So what else we got here? Joseph says, congrats, man. Abe Skolnick, good job. That is from the Nigerian prince. So that means something. And hey, Joseph, if you're still watching, bro, I told most people they got a month. I told him he's got 2 weeks. So he's coming up quick.
Okay, we're waiting.
He'll be there. All right. Juan says, hi, Linda. I got the same email from Google, but is not in the email. Okay, that's something else. Piece of site, but all honesty. Yeah. Anyway, these are all just kind of chatting. So, bro, speaking to somebody that's based overseas right now, either somebody that's based overseas, this is like the thing I want to wrap up with. Somebody that's overseas right now that has it in their head, they can't close deals in the US because they're overseas. What do you say to them?
This whole business model is based on you just need a laptop and a phone. So if you understand the business model, it's like, that's the reason why I started doing it in Israel, because I was looking for a business model that I could do overseas. That's how I came to this. It's like, you obviously don't understand the business model. The time difference, that could hurt a little bit. Like, I don't got nights right now, but again, like figure it out. Like, it's not, I don't see it. The only struggle, like the phone, like you figure out the phone, simple. You got it under control. What else is the problem? GMB verification? Like, anyway, if I was living in New York, I'm not flying down to Florida, right? Like, I'm not like, it's like, this is like, you're doing lead gens also overseas. Everybody's doing lead gens overseas. Like, what's the problem? Like,
okay. Then my last question is this: somebody that's been in this space, maybe they bought a program, maybe they didn't, maybe they just been learning on their own, whatever. It's been 1 to 2 years, no flat fee, some success, maybe a SEO deal here or there, a website built here and there, but they're like, it's nothing to write home about. What do you say to them?
Well, first of all, they're probably in this group. So first of all, go through everything in this group. Like, there's tons to learn from this group. And like, if you connect to what's in this group, you are going to enjoy flat fee. Like, because I was like thinking like, dude, I got everything here. Like, what's already going to be there? And for me personally, like, I got tons from this group, but I was still like missing, I was missing like I don't know how, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, basically get everything from this group, get it like down, like you understand the process, and then just join flat fee. Like if it's working for you and like you're feeling it, you enjoy the process, like you understand it. Like what could I say? Go to flat fee. Like you can't lose money over here. Like if you're again, like if you're sold on this process and you haven't closed, you're just missing a few pieces. That's what I realized. Like it's not that I don't know how to. It's not that you don't know how to. If you didn't close a flat fee deal, it's not that you don't know how to. It's just you're missing certain pieces in the puzzle. That's it.
They're
Like,
very
figure out how to
minor.
get those pieces.
And they're
That's
so
it.
minor. Like every person we talk to or do an interview with, it's something different, right? I remember with Eugene, he's like, dude, that live transfer just clicked for me, right? I remember when I can't remember when I talked to I think Kareem, his biggest thing is like he just needed a script. Like he just needed to have that script.
Yeah, me too.
Like that, like with you, you needed the script, but also like you just needed the mindset,
Yeah.
like mainly of like, okay, I'm the one with the leverage. But guys, the point is like you
One second, I
probably
knew for me, I'm just gonna say like my experience. I knew for me, like I know myself, is that if I see the more I see somebody in front of me do the process, the more confidence I have in it. And I knew that that's what like that's what this group gave me. It gave me like, 80, 60% confidence, and I needed 100%. And Flappy just like nailed it. It was like there was nothing left for me to like you're holding my hand and walking me. Like there's nothing left for me. Like I know everything.
yeah.
So it's like,
And dude, I'll tell you this, to your credit, if someone's watching this, don't be too hard on yourself. You probably are doing 80 to 85% of it already right. But the difference between making 100K a month and making nothing is in the 15%. And that 15% makes all the difference. And it's little tweaks, it's little shifts, it's little pullbacks, it's little one-liners, it's little this, little that. And you string it together, you get your first deal, you got Big Mo on your side, aka momentum, you roll into your second deal, and then there's no looking back.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, bro. Thank you for your time, dude. I know it's like 8:30 at night for you. Anybody that is overseas, anybody that's been in 1-2 years in their current program, struggling, this is an awesome resource for you. I'm just gonna solicit for him, and if Abe's a cool dude. He's the type of guy that will respond if you have questions. So
Yeah,
feel
for sure.
free.
I actually want to give back just because like I just got 2 deals from you guys. And if anybody has like any issues with like prospecting, I have no problem like closing a deal for you, like free of charge. And I'll just send you the Zoom call. Like if you want me to answer phone calls or anything, like, okay, obviously I'm, maybe 3 to 5 people that like reach out to me. I'll do it for free just to like give back. I have no problem like getting on the phone. If anybody's like struggling at this point where like you don't know what to say to the business owner, you don't know how to close with him, like I have no problem like helping anybody out with this area, because I think I did nail it to that extent. Like right now, like I know I only closed 2 deals, but I'm pretty confident. And like
and I appreciate that. I mean, the biggest thing is, and those of you that probably the 400 people that now just message you, they're like, oh, guys, like I think the more interesting thing that I would gain from this is like getting information from Abe. And like, to me, if I was in a position where I didn't have any deals, what's more valuable to me than getting a deal is figuring out how to close the deal, because one deal is not going to get you to your goal. And so I would just be trying to suck as much knowledge from somebody like Abe as I possibly could, because like at the end of the day, you can outsource everything, right? You can outsource every single thing. This is the hardest piece. And you can outsource this at some point. I wouldn't say outsource. You can delegate, you can train. This is the hardest part. This is the part you let go last. So this is the part you need to master. And until you can do it on your own, you're never going to be able to scale. And unless you're just trying to do 1s and 2s and, die broke, you're going to need to scale up, period. End of story. So, hey, appreciate your time, brother. And we will talk soon. Thanks, everybody.
yeah, thank you guys. Have a good one.